Hello and welcome to Awake Learning. Here is another part of environment terminology. In this part, we are going to cover ecosystem and related concept. Earlier, we have studied very basic terminologies like habitat, ecology, what is environment, everything. You can watch part 1 for more clarity. Here, we are trying to focus on ecosystem classification and some coral reef, wetland, mangrove, these kind of terminologies are very important for exam. Let's start with the ecosystem classification. Before the classification, as we studied earlier, what is ecosystem, what are the components? Here the ecosystem have two components, abiotic factor and biotic factor. Ecosystem is nothing but how organism is interacting with other organism as well as the environment. This is the basic structural unit of biosphere as you have studied earlier. See, abiotic component have further classification, climatic factor and edaphic factors. In the climatic factor, we have rain, temperature and light, wind. These are the influencing factor. In the edaphic factor, talking about soil, pH, minerals and topography. When it comes to the biotic factor, we have producers. These are the autotrophs. They are capable of producing their own food. So these are autotrophs, green plants are there. In the consumer part, these are heterotrophs, primary, secondary, tertiary. These are the again classification in consumer part. These consumers are dependent on primary producers. When it comes to the decomposers, these depend on dead and decaying organic material. Example, bacteria, fungi, these are called as saprophytes. So these are the terminologies associated with components in ecosystem. Let's move to the classification part. In the classification part, one is a natural ecosystem, another is artificial ecosystem. Natural ecosystem means these are made from the natural phenomena. When it comes to the artificial ecosystem, these are happened with the human activities. These are anthropogenic product. See, in the natural ecosystem, we again have classification, land ecosystem, also called as terrestrial ecosystem, and second is aquatic ecosystem. In the land ecosystem, we have forest ecosystem, grassland ecosystem, desert ecosystem based upon the presence of the natural habitat. Based upon the fauna and flora, we are classifying the ecosystem on the land as well as in the aquatic bodies. Aquatic bodies also have pond ecosystem, ocean ecosystem and estuaries. See, this is the basic classification of ecosystem. When it comes to the terrestrial as well as aquatic part, we have some more detail to know. In the aquatic ecosystem, we have further classification of freshwater and marine ecosystem. In the freshwater, we have lentic, lotic and wetlands. In the examination, lentic, lotic asked very frequently. Here there is a minor difference. Lentic is talking about the still water flow. See, water is very still here. When it comes to the lotic bodies, here water is flowing. So flowing water bodies comes under the lotic term. In the wetland, generally this is a transition land between the terrestrial and aquatic body. So in the marine ecosystem, we have oceans, estuaries and mangroves. You can see the marine ecosystem. In the freshwater, usually we are talking about rivers, lakes and ponds. Again, in this freshwater ecosystem, lentic and lotic wetlands are the major classification. When it comes to the terrestrial ecosystem, we have forest ecosystem, grassland ecosystem, mountain ecosystem, desert ecosystem. In the forest ecosystem, we have coniferous forest, we have temperate evergreen forest. These are the classification again in the forest ecosystem. In the grassland ecosystem, we have semi-dry and moist, humid kind of grassland ecosystem. When it comes to the mountain, we can see that mountain regions we are having different kind of ecosystem. In the desert also, we have hot desert and cold desert classification. So this is the basic understanding of types of ecosystem. Again, there are some terminologies associated with this ocean zones. In the ocean zones, we have two zones. One is the photic zone, another is a photic zone. With this figure, it is easy for you to recollect. Then, what is photic zone? As name suggests, here light penetrates from the surface to the last area where 1% of surface light is there, till here we have photic or euphotic zone. Here all kind of photosynthetic activities are taking place. So transparent water have more photic zone. So both the photosynthetic activity and respiration activity take place in the photic zone. When it comes to the aphotic zone, where the light penetration is not possible, here only the respiration is taking place. There is no photosynthetic activities. Generally, bottom of the lake we can see this aphotic zone. So this is very important. These terms can be asked very frequently. And we have another aquatic organism classification based on the zones. How we are classifying? Basically, we have neuston, plankton, nekton and benthon. See, based on their location, what kind of animals are existing in ocean zones. See here, neuston are the animals are floating one, where we have the air-water interference. In this area, organisms are existing. Generally, floating organisms. Neustons are the floating organisms. When it comes to the planktons, these are the microscopic floating organisms such as algae, diatoms and protozoans, and larvae forms of all these comes under planktons. These group generally includes the microscopic plants. Okay, when it comes to the nektons, these are the powerful swimmers. Nektons are the powerful swimmers. Generally, we tend to get confusion between the neuston and nektons. See, in the nektons, we have powerful swimmers to overcome the water currents. This is a third classification. When it comes to the benthons, these are also called as bottom dwellers. So, these organisms are living in the bottom of the water mass. So, this is the basic classification based on their zone of occurrence. Then next term is coral reefs. Coral reefs are the underwater structure. These are composed of colonial marine invertebrates. As you can see here, these are the coral structure present in the ocean. Usually they are in mutualistic relationship. Here coral animals are associated with algae. Algae is which providing the colorations to the corals. Here algae we have a zooxanthellae. These are providing the pigmentations to the corals. Because of that only we are able to see the beautiful coloration in the corals. Zooxanthellae are very important. When the zooxanthellae are come out from this coral, we can see the coral bleaching. Coral bleaching is the process where we left with only the calcium carbonate. This symbiotic association will expel the zooxanthellae. What might be the factors for that? Temperature, light or nutrients may not be sufficiently provided here. Because of change in all these factors, coral comes under the stress. They are facing stress. Because of this, the zooxanthellae will come out from this association. This is the coral bleaching. Here the important term is zooxanthellae. Zooxanthellae are providing the colors to this variety of corals. Then there are three types of coral reefs. One is fringing reef, second is barrier reef and third is atoll. In the fringing reef, we have very narrow lagoon. That means the reef are very near to the shore or land area. Because of that, we have a narrow lagoon. In southern coast of Florida or in Australian regions, we have this kind of fringing reef. When it comes to the barrier reef, we can see larger size of lagoon. Here reefs are formed along the parallel of shore. See, you can see the difference from fringing reef as well as the barrier reef. The separation is more here. This is very near to the shore. We can see it in the Greater Barrier Reef of Australian regions. When it comes to the atoll, what happens? This mountain will be submerged. Because of that, you can see the atoll formation. Circular kind of reef is forming. See, this is exactly the stage how the fringing reef is converted into barrier, then again to the atoll. Three stages is happening. Here circular kind of appearance in the atoll. See, in the patch reef, you can see the formation of the reef in a irregular pattern. There are some little bit patches in the ocean region. When it comes to the nearer to the shore and also forming the circular path, we have generally the three types of Three types of coral formation. In India, we have atoll type. Lakshadweep, we can see this atoll type. Even in the Maldives also atoll type of formation is there. And the next thing is mangroves. These mangroves are very small trees or shrubs present in the coastal saline or brackish water. See, they are salt tolerant. Because of this, we call them as a halophytes. Mangroves occur generally in tropic and subtropical region, latitude between 25 degree north and 25 degree south. They do have complex salt filtration system. Because of that, they are able to survive in the coastal area or coastal saline content. See here, we have pneumatophores. These pneumatophore structures are air root structure. They also supporting the survival of mangroves. Stilt roots are providing the support. They are adventitious roots. They are providing the supports to the plant. In India, we have a Sundarban area, best example for the mangrove. After mangroves, we have wetlands. Wetlands are transitional lands between the terrestrial and aquatic ecosystem. This is a transitional zone between aquatic and the terrestrial ecosystem. See here, when it comes to the wetland, conservation of wetland is very important because they are able to balance our ecosystem. Because of that, we are trying to protect them with the Ramsar Convention. You all are aware of Ramsar Convention on wetland of international importance. Especially, we are trying to protect the wetlands. This international treaty conserve and ensure the sustainable use of wetlands. The Ramsar philosophy is wise use of the wetlands. Under this, we have Montreux record. In the Montreux record, India generally have two wetlands. You can see that Montreux record, we have Loktak Lake in Manipur and this Kiladio National Park in Rajasthan. These two are in the Montreux record. What are these Montreux record? Here they are talking about certain wetlands are changing their characters or they are about to change. Because of this, we need to conserve them. So with the technological development or these pollutions happening or human interference is happening, because of that we need to protect these wetlands. And in this wetland, we have a thick layer of soil formation. They are made up of dead and decaying plant materials. This region is called as peatlands. So peatlands are nothing but these are the part of wetlands only. We are calling it in the different name. For example, in forest area, we call them as a swamp, a peat swamp forest, or in the Tundra region, we call them as a permafrost. Like this, the peatlands are vary from the region to region. So these are providing the fertility to the soil. Because of this, we have a diverse plant development. Carbon sequestration is also possible in this area. You can understand this ecological importance here only. Another important term is ecotone and edge effect. See, ecotone is nothing but we have a transition zone between two biomes or ecosystem. See, this transition area is called as ecotone. Generally, we have a grassland here and forest here. There is a transition zone. This zone is with a diverse animal or plant species. So they provide a supportive environment for to ensure the diversity. So generally, we have estuaries or grassland. Estuary is nothing but it is a transition zone between the freshwater and saltwater. Grassland is between the forest and the desert. Even mangrove forest is also a ecotone. So because of this, we have a limited area between two ecosystems. See, this transitional ecosystem is very narrow area. This narrow area is able to support the development of the different species. See, you can see that in this ecosystem or this transitional zone ensure the different species. Because of this, we have a density of population. See, when this density is compared with the other two ecosystem, here the density is more. Because of this only we are calling it as a edge effect. Here the population density is more when we compare to the other ecosystems. So because of this, we have a edge species also. Edge species is nothing but particular species here is in abundance. So this edge effect especially applicable for a variety of species. For example, you can say the bird species especially more here in this transitional zone when we compare to the forest and desert area. So because of this, we are able to ensure the diversity. This is very important. So hope you understood the echo tone as well as the edge effect. It's very simple. Echo tone is the transition zone between the two ecosystems. This will ensure the abundance of the species. Because of this, we have a more population of a particular species. This shows the edge effect, also edge species presence. And ecological niche talks about unique functional role of an organism. You can see here it describes the functional position of organism in its environment. See here, habitat is nothing but where organisms are living. You can call it as an address of individual. So when it comes to the function or what is the profession of an individual is having, this is a niche. Niche is nothing but functional role. You can see that habitat niche talks about where organisms are living, and food niche talks about their eating pattern, where they are consuming, and even reproductive niche talks about how they are producing. So generally this ecological niche is talking about the functional role, how they are actively participating, how they are responding to the particular situation, so how they are obtaining their resources. Then what is the definition of evolution? Evolution is the change which gives rise to new species. This change leading to the new species. This evolution talks about impact of environment on individual. So this leads to the formation of new species. Generally you can see that genetic level changes might happen, or immediate changes like physiological changes might be happened. So long term changes leads to the evolution. So mutation is also contributing to the rise of new species. Evolution is nothing but change subjected to the formation of new species. See, evolution is a process where the new species are formed. This is the final product. But adaptation is the initial changes happening in individual. So based upon the behavior, based upon the structural changes, based upon the appearance is changed in the living organisms. Sometimes the mode of consumption is also changed. To survive in a particular environment, they have to make a changes. They have to adopt themselves. So this process is called adaptation. The best example is giraffe neck got longer because of this tree height level. So you are aware of this example. You can see that even in the desert area, plants are very small, and even leaf have a very small structure and waxy structure to prevent the transpiration and to conserve the water. So a scarcity of water is there, even the temperature is very high in the desert area. To adopt that, they have made some modification. This is the adaptation. Generally these adaptations are for long term. When it comes to the short period changes, very small changes according to the small problem or a surrounding changes, this is called as a acclimatization. This acclimatization is generally when we go to the high mountain, we try to breathe faster to adapt to this particular environment. Because of this, we can say that for small days our body try to adjust to the changing environment. Generally adaptation is for the longer duration, whereas acclimatization is for very short duration. And then ecosystem service, how these ecosystems are benefiting people, how they are supporting us. When we take this mangroves, how they are providing the wood, this is the source of energy. Also they are protecting the coastal area. The restoration of mangroves in the coastal area is very important. Even the water filtration is possible, and it contributes to the tourism sector, fisheries, mangrove economy. We can see here climate regulation is possible. In generally whichever ecosystem it is supporting us in the form of food. Also it provides raw materials, also it provides a medicinal content. Medicinal plants are there. Because of this we are getting the medicinal resources, ornamental resources also there. Decoration purpose we are using so many plants. Also we can connect cultural services such as recreational use or ecotourism kind of things, or religious purpose. And apart from that we can invest in the science and research. Education is possible, ecotherapy, these kind of important points can be connected under the cultural services. So based on this we can say that we are getting n number of services from the ecosystem. So this is all about ecosystem and related topic. Hope you guys are enjoying the series. If at all you have any concern, please reach me through the comment section.